Hello, everybody, and welcome to Up Close and Personal. Just like every weekend, we are back here with another artist, another talent, but this time a very different talent, which is not so common that you hear of. But, before I get to who the artist is and all of that, let me tell you, this is like a thought for food. Usually we keep looking at artists. We look at the singer, we look at the dancer, we look at the actor, basically the faces that we, see. But what we really miss out is on the mentor or the person behind training these artists who are the face. So we thought, why not focus on what's happening to these artists and how are they actually getting trained, right? Therefore, we have somebody really different today. And I'm sure you guys are going to have like a lot of a lot of queries is going to get solved. In fact, I feel there's going to be a lot of new questions and new exploration that you're going to do about you guys, your own body, voice, throat, and all of that. So taking this ahead, and before I have the person with me, let me show you who he is. Yeah. Give me 1 second, guys. And yes, that was a very small one. And hello, Jamie. Can we have you on the screen? That was a very quick and short intro.
You did your homework. I forgot about those pictures of being on tour with Pritam.
That was like a surprise for you. Because for everybody who doesn't know him, first of all, a very formal introduction needed. He is a voice coach. He's a singer. He's somebody who makes the voice for some of the various, I think, very, very popular names, which we will come across. And he also has these various Bollywood names and international names out there whose voice you guys love, but actually he's the guy who's, telling them those techniques and tips because of which they are what they are there, right? So, and Jamie, why don't you put these photos and things up online? It was so difficult. I was like, oh my God, he's just not, he just does not promote himself.
I'm the worst promoter. I do have a marketing team now for my school, but everyone's like,
right.
I'm kind of the unknown vocal coach, but everybody knows me for shattering glass and holding a world record. But all the TV shows, all the artists I've gotten is word of mouth, because I can't promote myself. I'm bad at it. That's not one of my talents.
well, he is. I mean, what do I say? He is so Jamie is known to break glasses with his voice, which you guys are also going to see, if not live, but then I'm going to show you what that is in the later half of the, of the session. But Jamie, tell me, how, I mean, nobody has these, obviously the direct goal of becoming a voice coach. It happens gradually because I believe you explore it with time. So what was your primary thing?
Well, I never wanted to be a voice coach. I honestly didn't. It was funny. I lived in Hollywood, California. I studied voice out there, and I played in bands. And my guitarist and I, at the time, back in the early 90s, we used to say, those who can do and those who cannot teach. And it was just a giggling. And now that's how we make our living. So 1996, a friend of mine called me on the phone and they said, you sing really high and you got a deep voice. How do you do it? Can you teach me to sing high? I'm like, well, probably. Why do you want to sing higher? He said, I want to sing Pull Me Under by the band Dreamtheater. And I said, I can't stand that band. Now, knock on wood, or, not to defend myself, but I love Dreamtheater now. And I fell in love with him before I met the singer, who is Jameslabrie, who is my student.
Right.
But back then, when Troy asked me to sing higher, I was like, I don't want to do, typical scales. I just don't have time for it. So I just did, I got my little piano, and I don't have it down here, but something called a pitch wheel. It's just a round wheel, and it's got every note of the scale. And I said, try this, Troy. Yay. And we just did this simple little slide. And we spent
Right.
about an hour, and within that hour, he had gained 5 notes in his real voice. It wasn't falsetto. It was his
Wow.
true full voice, and he could hit every note, and the song pulled me under. And I thought, wow, I could teach people using this methodology. So I started,
Right.
and I have never stopped.
Right. And you know what? The thing is, of course, I'll tell you what, I'm sure you already have that India Connect. And in fact, there are so many students and, worldwide that they must be coming to you. But then, even in India, the major perception, I'm not too sure. It is only now, when it comes to the vocal industry, that they are aware of there is something more than just learning to sing or learning to, the classical or the Western way. And this whole formula is new to them, yet new, which is why I'm just glad that, people like you exist. And there is a vast difference. I'm sure people who are into the field will know that what happens when you actually follow a vocal coach and not just sing or practice.
Well, this is worldwide, even here in the United States. And the one thing I'm saying, and not because I'm working with an Indian company right now, but the singers I've worked with in India are by far the most studious and the best singers that I've worked with in any country. I've worked in China, Australia, Japan. There's something about India. Every time I've worked with a singer, even though it's new, they soak it up. A lot of people in the United States, and I hate to knock where I live, they'll take a lesson and they'll throw it to the side and they don't really feel like they need it. And what I do, I'm a voice strengthening specialist. I don't hold the world record for the loudest voice, but I'm known for the loudest voice. The loudest is 114 decibels at a meter, and I've hit over 120. I set the world record for shattering glass. I've extended range. So it's all about building muscle. So regardless of if you have a current coach in India and you're doing your scales, this will mesh with whatever you're doing, because it's like I'm taking your voice to the gym to actually work out and like bench press your vocal cords to build muscle around the cords.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And all right. But then, Jamie, were you, like I said, what was your primary goal? Like you wanted to sing, right? And
Absolutely.
but then what about how was the start? Because I somehow feel, and the little bit that I know about you, you weren't very happy with your voice, right?
I never was. I fell in love with a singer named Elvis Presley, who was pretty big around the world.
Yes.
Back when I was young, 3 years old, I heard the record spinning on my grandmother's record player, and that's when I wanted to become a singer. By the time I was 16, I was playing in bars. I was playing keyboard, and I was singing a lot of the 80s music like Poison and Guns N' Roses and AC/DC, a lot of the hard rock stuff. But I ran into trouble every night. I would either use everything I had to belt out the song to make it sound good, and then the next morning my throat was killing me. And then I would have to sing like this to get through the performance the next night, and I couldn't figure out, so I started studying voice. And my first vocal coach, I still love her to this day, but she absolutely helped me not at all. She told me that, a guy's voice will break, they'll have a flip, and they can't sing any higher. So she labeled me a bass. She said, you're stuck there. You might as well forget it. And I thought, absolutely not. So I went on and I found other vocal coaches like Jim Gillette from the band Nitro and Elizabeth Sabine, who trained bands like Guns N' Roses. And they really helped to mesh and meld who I am today. And we'll talk about this a little bit, but you can hear I'm kind of hoarse. I have vocal nerve damage because I got a piece of glass stuck in my throat. So before that accident, I was singing. Do you know who Mariah Carey is? Have you heard of her? She sings like ultra high whistle notes.
Yes.
I could sing those notes and higher. But then I was in Tokyo, Japan, breaking a glass, and a piece shot back in my throat and got stuck in my throat. And, we have damage that we're dealing with now. But but over the course, to answer your question, I just kept studying voice. I studied meditation. I studied yoga. I studied, different forms of healing to try to figure out this mechanism, which is your whole body, to figure out what works. And over that time, and by the time I started teaching in 1996, I went back to all my notes I'd made, from studying out in Hollywood and having my coaches. And I thought, okay, I want to create something that's completely different, you know, that can help people no matter what style they sing. It's not a methodology for opera or country or pop or blues. It is to work the body, you know, and help you build muscles so you can sing higher. That's when I got happy with my voice, you know. And even though I'm dealing every day, I have hoarseness and I have pain. I'm in pain right now. I'm still singing. It takes longer because of the glass that was in there. But I sent you, I don't know if you're going to share these, but I sent you a video of a song I did of the band Alter Bridge, because Miles Kennedy is a good friend of mine. And I did that with this damage a couple months ago. And Miles Kennedy's heard it and he absolutely loves it. And I'm pretty happy with that performance. So regardless, you know, I'm happy with my voice now.
Yeah, we can totally see that, Jamie. But then, you know, of course, when was this injury, by the way?
This was 2014, and we're pretty, I won't do surgery. I can't trust surgery. In fact, a friend of mine, she's one of my students, Shilpa Rao, who's a Bollywood singer. One of the times I was over, yes, she wanted me to go to, I wanted to work with somebody in India who did like reflexology or the, acupuncture, but I didn't get a chance to do it because I feel like to heal this takes other forms of healing, not American surgery where they're going to leave you botched. So. Right.
But then you're pretty awesome even without the surgery, Jamie. So yes, you know, I know a lot of people who, like I said, they're exploring these things now. What is a vocal coach? What is the vocal gym, if I call it? You know, what is it all about? So you know, there are many who go to this, who believe that, you know, there must be a school for this, or people should, you know, go to music schools, maybe wherein all these things are like touched and not completely, you know, given, but then a bit of it. And then there are also people who try to go the YouTube way and, you know, get information, whatever is available. But so, you know, just this is again a very important session for people who are into a field of voice. So what would you suggest? Do you think, of course, if they can, you know, connect with you, that's a totally different story. But is a school really that important, or, you know, these YouTube stuffs help?
I'm on the fence. There are some good YouTube videos. There's some good coaches out there, but there's a lot of bad information. And there's good schools. I presented at both Furtado's and Ajirazen when I was in Mumbai, and I know they're teaching good things. But what I'm teaching is completely different. It truly is. We're attacking at it a way that builds the instruments, just like if you wanted to be a bodybuilder and really build your chest and have six-pack abs. So I have actually worked with coaches who have 4-year degrees in school. And I remember working with this lady from Australia, and we were doing a Skype lesson, and it was our second lesson. And she started crying. And I'm like, what did I do wrong? And she says, I learned more from you in 2 lessons than I have in 4 years of college. And that's not a reflection on me. It's a reflection on some colleges aren't really teaching what you need. And I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say that, but you have to seek out what works for you. If you're going to go to a college and you get a degree and you want to be a teacher, absolutely really research them so you find a good school to grow. We have a school. I have Vendera Vocalacademy, which is a 2-year program online. And we're about everything, the artistic side, you know, music theory, vocal development. But that's just one avenue. You know, you can read books, you can do programs. In my personal opinion, nobody's going to replace a vocal coach. And I believe her name was Jennifer D'Souza. I met a really cool vocal coach. She's awesome. She is freaking awesome. You know, so if you're in Mumbai and you want private lessons, look her up. You know, I'm so busy. I mean, if you want to take Skype lessons with me, that's great, but I'm so busy. I'm not about collecting students. I'm singing, I write books, I tour with rock stars. So I just want you to have a great voice, to sing beautifully and not ruin your voice. So that's
I'm totally going to tag Jenny ma'am on this, because long back when I was starting up, even I have taken a bit of these classes from somebody else though. And unfortunately, he shifted. But you know, that reaction, what you're talking about, that somebody on Skype actually started to cry because, and I did feel that because I had been struggling, and then I found this person and he totally changed the, you know, the way things were coming out of my mouth. And I was like, wait, what just happened?
And
So
you know, go ahead, sorry.
Yeah. No, so I was just, yeah.
I'm going to show you finish. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying that the whole idea of vocal coaching is magical, and only when people do this is when they will know what happens. Otherwise, it's a secret.
Yeah, and absolutely. You know, we're human beings, and there's so many different methodologies. I support so many other vocal coaches that teach entirely different than me. But here's the ticket. Finding a coach that you connect with, that they can like listen to you and find a way to open your voice. That's what it's all about. So, you know, I've had multiple coaches and some didn't work and some did. And I have 3 main coaches that really work for me, Jim Gillette, Elizabeth Sabine, and Thomas Appel. They all 3 teach differently, but together it really helped to open me up. So, you know, I'm 50 and I'm never going to quit learning. I'm never going to quit singing. You know, I'm never going to quit doing TV, but I'm always going to study, you know, because we're never going to know everything there is to know about the voice. Just sing and enjoy the journey. But if your voice hurts, if you can't hit those notes, if you're sore the next day, yes, you need a vocal coach. So yeah.
Also, are you really 50? That got
my
attention.
But I act 20. I act 20. I remember being in China.
You must be really 20.
I remember being in China, like, you're 40?
I'm sure you just say it. But well, first let me, you know, let me show everybody what is the power of having the right coaching for the voice. And when I say, guys, he's actually breaking glasses with his voice, you guys must really see what I mean, right? So give me a second.
Yeah! That is number 127. I broke this one. It's very special to me because I broke this one for Ethan Johnson. Ethan, if you're watching this, your mom, Melody, told me that you want to be a singer and you want to crack glasses just like me. Well, I tell you, I believe you're going to do it, brother. I'm right behind you. This glass is for you. I'll see you soon.
But look at that, guys. I'm sure y'all are like wondering, is that for real? Jimmy, how do you do that? Like,
you gotta be really immature to make it break. Listen, I don't sing that way. That's the worst sound in the world. The video doesn't do it justice. When you're in the room with me, it is really loud and abrasive. I've been on TV shows where, you know, they're monitoring me, and I've seen cameramen take their headphones and throw them on the ground and like, you know, worried that I've caused damage. And I warn everybody, I'm like, I'm telling you now, all would be all right. So it's a lot of power, and it's finding the exact frequency. I've shattered around 500 glasses now, and they're all really difficult. And you have to, like, if you know your scales, you're Indian scales, it may not fall on any notes. It could be in between a note. So like you flick the glass and you listen, and then you have to power down to find that frequency and be loud enough to make it shatter.
Wow. So you're saying that also works with the notes, right?
It has to. Yeah. I mean, I could be. You
just can't go before the class and scream.
No, totally. You have to be dead on the frequency. And so instead of saying a C, a D, an E, an F note, I could say, I got 2 glasses here, and this one is 556 hertz, which is like around a C sharp. And this one is 560.2 hertz. And I scream at both. And if I match the 0.2, this one will break and this one won't. I mean, the frequency has to be dead on. So.
Back on, man. And but again, like, did you, of course, this all everything that you've achieved, I'm sure they are not these common things. So I'm sure you must have thought of this, right? Because this idea is something not, I wouldn't get up and think of this, that I want to break the glass today.
I've wanted to
How
do
did
it
you come to it?
Well, my coach, Jim Gillette, he was in this metal band in the 80s called Nitro. They toured India about a year and a half ago. I know a lot of people watching this know who Michelangelo Badio is. He plays a four-neck guitar. He's the fastest guitar player in the world. That was his band, Michael and Jim. So they had a video out called Freight Train on MTV back in like 1987 or something, and he could break glass with his voice. I mean, he's done it. You know, he was known for that. We became close friends, like brothers. He's my coach, and he got a call to be on the show Mythbusters. And he was too busy. He didn't want to do it. So he called me up. He said, "You want to be on TV?" I'm like, "Yeah, sure." Doing what? He said, "Shattering glass with your voice." And I about passed out. And I'm like, I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." But inside I was scared to death because I've wanted to do it. That was in 2004. So 87, 97, that was almost 20 years that I wanted to shatter a glass, just like my idol. I was too afraid to try it. I tried it, I couldn't do it, and he trained me. We really worked really hard, and then it took about a month, and I zeroed in, I found my flow, and then it just took off from there.
And I think Mythbuster, which I was coming to, really kind of turned it around for you, right?
Yes, that was, I was releasing my first book at that time. I was already teaching. I had a couple rock star students, but nobody really knew who I was. And I did a show called Good Morning America with Mythbusters, and then we did the Mythbusters show, and then everybody was calling me. You know, I was shows for like I said, Japan, China, Australia, the Middle East, Germany. It was just everywhere. I couldn't keep up, and now I've backed off. Since I've had the accident, I've only done maybe 3 or 4 shows. It's just too dangerous. I've had so much damage from it. That I don't want to risk it anymore. So.
Right. So disclaimer, guys, first of all. Exactly. Please don't start.
Yes, it's dangerous.
Even the expert has had an injury. So please don't go making your records and, you know, do not try it at home. Well, but then that's exactly, so once Mythbuster happened is when you're, that's when the whole transformation happened, right? To teaching and all of that.
I was already,
because
that was
sure,
I was already teaching. So I was already teaching for 8 years. I started in 96. I started writing my first book, Raise Your Voice, in 2000. I released it in 2004, right as I was on my first TV show, Good Morning America. So then when Mythbusters came around, I had printed
happened all together.
It happened all together. And then I hooked up with James Labrie pretty quick at a concert because of Mythbusters. So I interviewed a lot of singers for my website, and he said, "I'm going to give you this interview because you tell me you can shatter glass with your voice." And he said, "I've told all the guys in the band, and we don't believe you. We're not calling you a liar, but we don't believe it. So I'm going to interview." So I brought a wine glass. I left it in the car, and we get onto the tour bus, and he says, "So you can really break glass with your voice?" And I let out this big scream. He jumped. My buddy said, "Do I need to go get the glass?" And James Labrie says, "Don't bother. I know you can break glass with your voice now." So he helped a lot. He helped a lot. Miles Kennedy, who was not my student. He's just a good friend. They both wrote articles for my book, Raise Your Voice, the updated version. And both of those guys have really promoted me and pushed me. And that's where I get a lot of singers from.
Right. How was your experience with, the Dream Theater guys and, in fact, so many more that came in one after the other?
Oh, it's wonderful. And I still work with James. They got a new live DVD coming out, and I had just, I'm a coach that if it's not broke, don't fix it. So we don't need continual lessons. James and I worked together 10 years ago for Black Clouds and Silver Linings. And they thanked me on that album, and then we stayed in touch. You know, I go check up on him, but we didn't work together again until this last album, Distance Over Time, as they were recording that. Because I'm just a trainer. You know, I say, here's your exercises, here's what you need to do, here's the technique. Don't call me. You know, you don't need lessons every week. Save your money, put it in a microphone. or something. So it was wonderful. You know, I just worked with him a couple months ago, and you know, of course, COVID, I've lost a couple tours, or I would have been on tour with there's a really big band out now called I Prevail. And I don't know if they've heard them in India. Okay, so they're all my students, and Brian is a student of mine, and I usually tour with them, you know, to keep him on points. But that's one now. But you know, working with artists of that caliber who love voice and they do it for a living, they really take it seriously. Which it makes me think about touring with Pritam. You know, I toured with Pritam, and we had these singers like Harshdeepkaur and Nakash Aziz and Mishra. And I don't know which one of them. I know Shamli Kogadi was excited to see me, but I know that a lot of them were like, we don't need a vocal coach. Nobody will tell me who said it, but we worked together, and I kept their attention, and even Pritam worked with me too, and the whole team said, wow, I can't believe the difference in their voice tonight. And when they felt the difference and they sang better live, bam, they were instant students. Then they paid attention to me, and we really got down to business.
Then they took it seriously that, hey, listen, this is not a joke.
Yeah, but everybody's been fun. Go ahead.
So, you know, I'm going to ask you about your Bollywood Connect and how did all of that start? And also I'm going to kind of try to understand a little bit about these, especially the Bollywood Connect, and the artists that you named. But before that, let me also show these guys what is, when I say vocal coaching, or when you say it needs training, what kind of training would that be from you? Let me just give them a little glimpse of that, yeah?
Okay.
Now I can go about another 40 seconds. That's 10 seconds in, but keep going. Now this may seem simple, but don't worry, because when we get in the workshop, we're going to take it to the next level. So practice, and whatever you get to today, whether it's 10 seconds, 34 seconds, 20 seconds, it doesn't matter. Tomorrow, I want you to add one more second. Now work really hard on this. Keep going until I see you at the workshop, and then we'll take it to the next level.
Okay, so basically for everyone who's wondering why and what kind of a workshop are we talking about, it's basically those a little bit of older videos, and this is something from the last time you came to India, right?
Yeah, that was for events and more, and I forgot about that video. That was just that was to actually sustain and work on you know, minimizing your breath, which is a small part of it. But it gets much deeper, you know, just doing little things like that. So it's funny, and that shirt I had on was just for India. It said India 2019.
But you know, guys, this is what you know, for everyone who's watching, this was like, I think 0.1%, I think, when it comes to vocal training. The first thing we look at is the breathing, and that's a quick like 0.1% is like what I said, a quick glimpse of what you will learn when it comes to vocal coaching and when it comes to Jaime. But Jaime, what is you know, what is the concept of vocal coach? Like the concept of vocal coaching, or rather, how would you explain it?
Well, we're going to explain it by, since you mentioned breathing, I want to ask you to do something for me. Take a huge deep breath for me, just really quick. Huge deep breath. Give me a big breath. Inhale. Exhale. Oh, you're beautiful. You did much better. Most people do this. They'll lift their shoulders and they'll drop them. I was hoping you do that so I could be, congratulations, you did it wrong. Coaching is really about learning.
Thanks to the previous teachers. Sorry, I cheated. I knew a bit about it.
He was like, he's setting me up.
But let me show how would the other people do it. They would probably, you guys, y'all can try breathing.
Yes, they would do this. Now, here's what it should be like. It's like, you know, if I'm losing weight, here I am before, here I am after, before, after. So your stomach has to pop out. So the goal of a vocal coach is to really look at the entire body as the instrument. And I address everything. I address your mental state. I've had, there's a band called Skyharbor that's really popular. They're an Indian band. Yes. And the singer is an American singer who's my student. Yeah, so Eric Emery, and I remember him calling me one night on tour in India, and he's like, dude, I'm freaking out and I'm sick. And when I had my glass accident, I worked with a doctor to develop this thing, which is called the pocket votes. And so he had one on tour, and I'm like, Eric, calm down, breathe, quit raising your shoulders. I want you to visualize the concert and it being amazing, and you hit every note even though your voice hurts. And then we would do like, woo. We would vocalize for a little bit. They did the show. He was completely sick. He texted me afterwards. Was like, dude, it was amazing. I nailed it. So a coach's job is to make sure you're in the zone, that everything is formed correctly, you're breathing correctly, you're supporting the voice, you're not choking it off in here, and you don't think inside, oh, I suck. Because as singers, we're so self-critical. We're thinking, oh, I don't think I can hit that note. Oh, I got a little bit of cough, you know, or I'm sad. I wish I could sing like this guy or this girl. So we have to get through all that mental clutter and realize we're an athlete, you know, and we have to take care of our body. We have to take care of our mind. And that's what a coach is supposed to do for you.
So you know, to if somebody who has no clue, so are you saying this is not, first of all, it's not just for singers? So anybody, what I understand,
everybody,
with any, everybody, right?
The way that
so whether you're a singer or
the way that I train is I have students who are doctors, who are psychologists, who are scientists, who are school teachers who don't sing a note, because it's more about using your body for speaking. Because 9 times out of 10, the problem that I have with singers who are losing their voice is their speaking voice. They go out and they meet the fans, or they're talking over the next band, or everyone's crowded and their energy is being zapped, and their voice starts hurting them, not when it's on stage. So it happens with school teachers, with doctors, with lawyers. Anybody who uses their voice needs to learn how to breathe, support, and place the voice. You know, feel a buzzing in the roof of your mouth so that you don't grunt down here and lose it. Then after that point, yes, it is about singing. A lot of times I'm in a recording studio with singers and we're working out melodies or harmonies, you know, or phrasing to see how they should sing it, how they should approach a note, how they should, you know, approach a vowel. So there's a lot to it.
Right. There's a lot to it. But then, of course, it's for everybody who is in a profession of speaking, or rather has to anyway speak every day, right? Because that's something you cannot avoid.
Absolutely.
Also, Jaime, so I also read about your vocal therapy device.
Yeah, this.
So what is that?
Okay, so after I had my accident, which I'm positive, everything that happens in my life, I look at it a positive way. So even though like my voice will go out and it'll come back from this, which that's disheartening. Okay. However, that's why this exists. So I had found Dr. Denizoglu from Istanbul, Turkey, and he created this little glass device called the Dr. Vokes therapy device. And he was using it in hospitals for people who had nodules, or, you know, they were talking like this. And all they would do is they'd fill a little water in there and they would go, and what that does, it stops your voice and it makes the sound of your voice travel back up and down your throat. And it literally massages your vocal cords. This is no lie. They filmed it. But I told him, I said, Doc, I'm on tour. I'm doing TV shows. I'm going to break that glass bottle. Can you make me something out of rubber I can stick in my pocket? And we'll call it pocket vote. So he made this top, and then I wasn't happy. I said, can you make me a bottle? Because I want my own bottle. So he made this, and it blew up, you know. And Dream Theater, like I said, Sky Harbor. Most big American rock bands are using this right now. Well, they were when we were on tour. COVID hit, and it just warms up your voice. You know, if I could do this for 2 minutes, you would start to feel your voice come back. If it's hoarse, if you're like, oh, I can't sing, I can't do it. There's my voice, and it actually takes down inflammation. So you're basically you're breathing and the bubbles at the same time. Yes, I'm vocalizing. So that's actually the shirt. So if I go, that's what massages my voice. If I put hot water in here and I inhale, I can moisturize my vocal cords. Oh, so if you're feeling a little dry, so one side. is for vocalizing, one
Okay.
side's for inhaling, for moisturizing.
Right. Right. Wow. That's amazing. Where can we guys get it too?
Well, listen,
Can we?
we launched drvokes.us October 19th for this. We haven't even sold this yet, but listen, I love all of you guys. I'm not worried about making a dime. Go to drvokes.com, DOCTORVOX.com. They're in Turkey. You know, I gave them this idea. I don't want any money. Just make me my own bottle. They don't sell this version. I
Right.
wish I had the other one down here. It's a little different. Plus it has, you know, if you want to sing, it has the mask you attach to it. And
Oh.
say you're on tour and you're singing in a hotel, hey, and it's too loud.
Right.
It brings down the volume.
Oh, amazing.
And it also trains
Amazing.
you to hit those notes higher because it's so relaxing on the voice. So, but
Right.
again, the
Wow.
version of drvokes.com, it won't be clear blue. It's going to be a solid collar in a different bottle. But yes, run and
Guys,
get you one.
this
Your
is
voice. Thank you.
drvokes.com.
Absolutely.
Must go. Also, you know, Jaime, I have a few messages which I want the rest to see because again, coming to the India Connect and the Bollywood Connect, these people have praised you and how. Let's just hear them too.
Hi guys, this is Shalmali Kolgade and here's a big shout out to my vocal coach, Jaime Vendera. I think every artist has times in their lives when they have certain inhibitions or obstacles that they face that they just can't get through, and at that point they need a vocal coach. And I am so grateful that I have someone like Jaime in my life who has made such a huge difference to how I sing on stage and in the studio.
Hi guys, this is harshdeepkaur. Today I'm making this video for a very special person. His name is Jaime Vendera. I met him when I'd gone to the US for a musical tour. He's a great vocal coach and I can proudly say that I'm a very obedient student of Jaime Vendera. I follow his exercises, and after doing all his exercises, the techniques that he teaches, I have felt a great change, or rather a very positive change in my singing. And you know how musicians take care of their instruments. Similarly, Jaime has also taught us how to take care of the vocal cords, because for a singer that's the biggest instrument. So he's coming to India for a workshop.
Okay. Well, again, these were times before Jaime came to India. But for everybody who doesn't know, Harshdeepkaur is the lady who sang Dilbaro from Razi, and that's her fame. And then she's sung like many more songs. And of course, Shalmali Kolgade is very, very famous for her Balam Pichkari, which I think we still dance on every Holi. So, you know, that was something I wanted the rest to see, of course, you know, and how much these guys follow you. So Jaime, you know, now, of course, singers is there. For everybody who's currently struggling or are kind of trying yet to find the right person to go to, or yet wondering whether they have their voice in shape or no. First question is, how would you know whether you have the right voice? Because when I talk or when I sing, maybe in my certain range, I can perform. But how do I know if I really need to, you know, improve on a few things when it comes to healthy voice?
It's pretty simple. If it hurts, yeah, you're doing something wrong. You definitely need. But even beyond that, someone's like wanting more range and they can't find it, and they're straining, and they're like, oh, I'm stuck. Yeah, you need a coach because you can develop and extend that range. Even in speaking, if your voice gets tired, and you don't have this really nice, like buoyant feeling, like when you laugh, it comes out, it's real resonance. That's the voice you should have. If you're like this, you know, when you're kind of breathy or raspy, or you're squeezing in there, then yes, you have an issue if you're a speaker that you need to work on. And you know, some of you are probably watching this for school teachers, and you know, at the end of the day, you're like, my throat's hurting. Or you're talking on the phone all the time. Okay, that's a sign that you need vocal lessons. You know, whether you find a teacher there, or you take lessons with me, or You know, if you go to my website, we have
Correct.
dozens of products. I mean, books really cheap, more expensive products is the overhaul thing. And again, I'm the worst marketer, so I'm not trying to sell myself. I'm just saying it's
We'll
there.
do it for you, Jamie.
Yeah, it's there if you want to use it. But bottom line, I'll tell you right now, I want to give you a tip. I'm sorry, my voice is going out from my nerve damage. What I would do if you don't have one of these right now, go get you a rubber tube. And you can see the end. It's about as wide as my finger, and it's about this long, about as long as my arm. And you can cut diagonal at the bottom. This has got little teeth. Get you a bottle of water with only a few inches in it. Drop it in.
Okay.
If you just did that, it's very similar to this. This is like the preschool version. This is like the college version. So, but you know, just having this right now, if you're having any issues and you're watching this, make sure you're paying, don't raise your shoulders, breathe the belly out, get you a straw, and just do little slides, relaxing slides, and do that for 2 minutes, and then feel, how does it feel? And I promise you, you'll be like, wow, I can't believe my voice feels so much better from using this goofy little straw.
Right. So I think, so you're saying that even if we don't know what the issue is, all we can do to keep a healthy voice is at least try these exercises, right? Get a straw, get a bottle of water.
Do that. Another thing you could do is, as you see me, I'm sipping. I constantly sip hot water. There's no tea in this. There's nothing wrong with tea. You know, if you want to have tea, but hot water will actually help reduce inflammation. So my vocal cords are in perfect health. I get scoped every year, but I have a lot of inflammation around that because of the nerve damage. So I'm always sipping hot water since I teach so much, to kind of bring it down, and this helps. That helps with the inflammation as well.
Okay, superb. We are totally going to follow this, guys. And we're going to also email Jamie if that kind of worked for us.
Please do. Follow me on Instagram. I get questions. I get messages every day. I think that's how you found me. It's Instagram.
No, so Jamie, oh my God, I didn't tell you. So basically, you know, every time you've been in India, every time I wanted to catch your show, even the standalone one that you did in Dadar, one of the auditoriums.
Yeah,
I think Post All About Music. Yeah, and then the tickets were full, and I'm like, oh my God, like this is like even the All About Music session I could not attend. So every time I've been like,
that was funny.
I've only heard.
Have you been to All About Music? Because they have the rooms.
But the previous year before you came.
Oh yeah. But I remember All About Music, and they put me in this little room, and I think it held about 200 people. And they told me after it was done, they said there were about 300 people in there. And the event coordinators, Sonny, he came to me and says, "I am so sorry. We should have put you in the huge auditorium because we would have packed that." And I said, I didn't, you know, I had fun. It didn't matter to me.
No, I'm sure everybody did. So there is so much to, you know, talk. Jamie, another query that I had got, you know, from somebody when I discussed this, they also, and probably they're going to see it to see your answer. You know, how about thyroid issues? Because thyroid has something to do with the gland, right? To your throat. And does that kind of affect the range? Because you just said that range can be increased, but
that again, I'm not a doctor, so you'd have to see, but I know a really close friend of mine, Tony Harnell, who sang for a band called TNT, and he sang for Skid Row, a phenomenal singer. He had thyroid cancer years ago and had to have it removed. I know if you have thyroid issues, it could be, you needed more iodine, but again, you need to see a doctor. I can't really comment on that, but I will tell you, anything around here that does become inflamed can affect your voice. And since we're on this issue, smoking can affect your voice. Caffeine can affect your voice. You know, alcohol can affect your voice. So how serious are you about being a professional singer or a speaker? You know, you have to take care of your body. I'm not here to be a monk and say, hey, don't smoke. But, you know, I'm on a lot of my rock stars that actually smoke some pretty heavy stuff. And after working with me, they actually quit. They're like, and then they thanked me. And they're like, wow, I can't believe the difference in my voice. So
Right. Totally agree to whatever you're saying. Jaime, also, we are like almost towards the end. So what I would quickly want you to also tell us about the books that you're maybe coming up with and the recent one, how's that doing and where can we guys find it? Like, where can we go and read about it?
okay, so I mean, I'm sure it's in every Amazon, but jaimevendera.com, venderapublishing.com. I can't even count. I've written like 60, 70 books, but I'm crazy. So a lot of them are on voice. But a lot of them were fiction.
Okay.
I'm a fiction writer, so I've written like 40 fiction books and about 30 or 40 books on
Wow.
voice.
How do you
books,
complete, man? Like,
I think 24/7. I wake up in the middle of the night and I write stuff down. So Raise Your Voice
Right.
is my big book, The Ultimate Breathing Workout. Mind Over Music, I wrote with a guy named Joe Vitale, who was in that movie The Secret that was out 10 years ago. My most recent vocal book is called Rebalance Your Voice, and it is about this product, and I wrote it with Dr. Ilter Denizoglu. The book I'm working on now is called Singing with Trauma, and it is with Brian Burkheiser, the singer from I Prevail, because Brian, before he met me, he lost his voice and he had trauma. He had to have surgery, and their last record was called Trauma, and it blew up. So he said, I want to write a book with you. He said, you have vocal damage from the glass. I had surgery. He said, you saved my voice with this device and gave me my career back. And so we're actually writing that book right now to explain it. So, so yeah, you know, start with Raise Your Voice is what I would do.
Right. Okay, guys. So you know where you have to start with, and then gradually, I'm sure you're going to land up to his recent books as well. All right, Jaime, this was lovely talking to you. Also, we have our people also asking if we can have you, like we can hear you, if we can see you perform a little, like an impromptu.
Oh no,
Unless
my throat is killing me. I'm not even warmed up. But there is stuff on YouTube.
Sure.
We just put out a video. And you can hear it in my voice, like, hey. So there's not a lot there. I actually have to warm up for about 2 hours with this to even have my voice to do it. But stay tuned. I mean, we're working on it. We're working on a cover for Evanescence. We're working on a cover for Seal. I've got 2 bands. We're putting out songs. But the thing is, I used to tour and do workshops where I would sing. But now my voice will go out and it'll come back from the damage. So
right.
I don't do a lot of it. So, but again, at least we got this out of it. But, check out, go to YouTube or if you guys can post it, check out the cover of Open Your Eyes that we just did. And I'll be the first, I'll be honest. It took me probably 10 tries to record it. So I never lie to my students, and usually I get it really quick, but that's just because the damage. I would have to stop. I'd have to drink water, and then I'd have to go back and relax and massage it to make it work, because it is, again, it's not vocal cord damage, it's nerve damage. So, I can't control it.
Right. I so feel like as if I wish we had like 24 hours, and I think even that's going to be less because there are going to be so many questions and queries to solve. But I think for that, I'm going to get on a one-on-one with you and probably get myself some classes.
That are perfect.
But,
again, thank you for having me on. I'd be more than happy to come back and do a Q&A if you have a bunch of questions. So I have so many Indian fans and friends. Every day on Instagram, I got a new message from somebody new. Like Vishal Dadlani, I've worked with him, and someone asked about a vocal coach, and he just this morning posted, "Oh, you got to go to Jaime."
Yes.
And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to get.
you told me that, and I was like, okay, by the time I show it, but never mind, I'm going to get that topic here. So yes, you are already way more popular than Jaime. All you need to do is put them up on your social media.
Yeah. Well, I will. And we're actually working with Furtados to act, and this would help for those of you wanting us to bring my methodology into Furtado school.
That's amazing. So,
that's it'll take some time because I'm actually fine tuning everything with the methodology. I don't just want to hand it over. Right. I want it to be very precise so the teachers understand how to teach it. So we're probably a year or two away for that, but it is coming. So.
Yeah. So guys, I'm sure this was amazing. It was already amazing for me, and I can totally imagine you guys, going gaga. And we are going to wait for the, this new whole session that you're going to get to India. And we're going to also hope that you will be here soon once all these things calm down. and we can have a live, session with you. Thank you so much, Jaime. This was really helpful, and this was really amazing. At least from all the voice, enthusiasts out there, this is amazing, really.
I am humbled. I thank you. When you reached out to ask me to be on, I'm like, really? So I'm very happy.
Yeah. All right. Okay, then rest of the guys, if y'all don't know where to find Jaime, all you have to do is you have to just, find him on social media with the same name, find him on Facebook with the same name, and on YouTube as well. Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Great, Jaime. See you soon. And see you soon virtually.
Yeah.
And once again,
I'll see
thanks
you in
a
10
lot
seconds.
for this.
Yeah.
Totally.
Thank you. Thank
All
you.
right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.